Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about contouring, something that I have seen so many people do amazing looks with contouring, but I've never really done a video where I've just focused on how to do that, because really there are a couple of things to think about when you're contouring. Where do you start? How do you know if it looks good? Where to go next? Have you got the right sort of palettes? Have you got the right type of brushes? You know, things like that to keep in mind. And also to remember that the first time you do it, it may not turn out perfectly. You might need to keep practicing and, you know, learning from other people's videos, photos to see what makes their contour look incredibly amazing. I am letting you know that I'm not an expert, but I have a qualification in makeup. Obviously, you see that I've also got my own channel teaching you guys how to do makeup looks, but it's all from my experience. It's how I've learnt what works for my face. It may be different for your face, and I like to make sure that I'm being open and generalizing that, because I remember when I first started watching tutorials from other people, and it didn't necessarily have to be contouring, it was anything really to do with makeup. Their skin tone might be different, so what palette works for one person may not work for me. I prefer to have powders as opposed to creams, because I feel that cream products are very heavy for my skin. Especially, this is the reason why this video is just about powder contours, but some of you out there have normal to oily skin and you may prefer cream contouring, so you've got to find out what works for you. And I love watching people use creams on their faces, but I haven't actually found something that works for me. If you're interested to see how to create a look contouring with powders, and especially for normal to dry skin, then this is the video for you. Let's begin. I will be doing a powder contour today, and I to first of all set my face with a powder before starting. If I was to do it with a cream contour stick or any sort of cream products, I wouldn't do this next step. So as I have normal to dry skin and I want to show you how to do a powder contour, that's why I'm going to first set my face. I'll be using the pastel beige setting powder, and then a flat brush like this is really handy to help tap it all over my face. Last time I used my Sculpt and Glow palette for my contouring. This time I'm actually going to use the Shade and Define Tan Color Contour Palette, which is by BH Cosmetics. This is by Profusion Cosmetics, and this is by BH Cosmetics. I mentioned in the last video as well, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but using an angled brush really does help with contouring, and that is why I make an effort to find any angled fluffy brush. In this case, this one here works too, to help with the contouring. I really like how it has the angle, so obviously the higher tip, you know, the higher tip will be the one that is in the direction of my ear, and then I bring it down like ever so slightly where my cheekbone is, and then that helps with the sculpting. Okay, so for this case I'm going to be using this shade here. It doesn't have a name, but I can tell that it's on my left and it's second to the end. See here, I can see an imaginary line coming from the top of my ear down, and I can feel that my cheekbone is here. So I tap and bring it down, but it's really very soft, okay? It's not heavy. I used to do heavy contouring, and when I look back at my videos and looked at my photos, I knew I needed to improve this. So I have recently watched a video where they mentioned it's not good to do the duck lips, and that's fine, but I think that it works for me to do that, because then I can see my jawline, because then I can see my cheekbone a little bit better. Alright, so do you see that? It's like this imaginary line coming from the top of my ear down to this edge of my lip. And you see that I'm patting it, but I always make sure that the top part of the brush is closer to the ear. Alright. See? No contour. Yes, contour. No contour. Yes, contour. Alright. Now for the other side. Same thing, top of my ear, bring it down. Feel for my cheekbone. Okay. And you might have to just softly build it. You don't need a whole heap of powder on your brush to start off with. Just a little bit, build it up. It's going to be easier for you to blend. Do you see the line? As long as I'm not getting too close to my lip, I probably want to just leave it there, maybe trying to line it up with the end of my eyebrow. Just bring that in a little bit more. As I said, this is my version of contouring. It's not going to work for everybody, because everybody's face shape is different. Apparently my face shape is square, and so I have to imagine that I have an oval around my face. How would I create the contour of that oval? Okay, next part. I don't have a huge forehead, so really I just want to focus on contouring on the outside and then joining it up. Sometimes I do actually contour on the top. This is probably a fair bit of repeating from the other video, but I just want to make it clear that this is slightly different in that, you know, I did this over a foundation, not a BB cream, and there might be some other things that I say in here that are different from the other video anyway. This brush is a little bit thicker than the last one, so I'm definitely going to need to use a powder to contour and sculpt. I think in the last video I may have actually put more powder at the top, so in this one I'm just basically applying it around the edges. Alright. So bringing it back, how do you see the contour? It always helps, I find, to take photos and to film and look back at your videos. Off camera, I'm going to add the bronze. Off camera, I'm going to add, I want to do another video about separately with the highlighting and the blush, so I won't talk about that today, but what I do want to mention is the blush usually goes above the contour, and then highlighting areas usually just underneath the eye area. You can even see there's a soft highlight section there, and here I haven't even highlighted it. That's just the foundation showing my areas of glowing on my face, and that's where I would apply highlight. Hopefully I've given you guys a little bit more help when it comes to contouring, because it can be a little bit intimidating for people who've never done it. Keeping in mind that your face is a blank canvas, so having contour really helps frame your face, so you know where your cheekbones are and you know which parts of your face to accentuate or emphasize, make bolder. Like, do you want people to see your eye looks? Do you want people to see your cheeks? Do you want people to notice your lips? What do you want people to take notice of when they're talking to you? Because I can tell you now, people really do take notice when they're talking to you. If you are wearing a really bright, bold lip color, guess where they're gonna look? It's your lips. And if you're wearing bright colors on your eyes and your eyes are brown like mine, it could be that they focus straight on your eyes. I don't want to say that, you know, every person out there who does makeup needs to have it perfect because people will notice mistakes or things like that. No, it's more about what do you want people to look at when they look at you. And it might help for you to take photos after the makeup looks that you do. Look back at them. Give yourself a reason to improve on something. You know, look back at your makeup look and think, what did I do really well there? I'll do it again, and just keep repeating that. So I'm pretty happy about how my contouring happened. As I said in the video, it really helps me to use a powder to make my contouring a lot more sharper. But obviously, if I don't want to have a very noticeable contour, which can happen, maybe I want my face to be a little bit more fatter or chubbier for some reason, then I probably won't contour and I won't use a powder. So it's about what type of look you want to create that day. Gives you the idea of what products to use. And don't beat yourself up about it if it doesn't work out the first time. It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. You are still a beautiful person. You're learning. Love the process of learning. Have a great rest of the day. I love you guys. And remember, you are amazing. Truly.